Welcome back, first grade friends. Thank you for joining me for Unit 1, Module A, Lesson 8. I'm so happy to share this reading time with you. Good writers understand the events in a story are important. The setting of the story is also important for understanding the events and characters. The setting of a story is when and where it takes place. Authors can use details in the words and illustrations to tell more about the setting. Our learning intentions and success criteria for today says, in this lesson, we are learning how authors tell about the setting in a story. We will know we are successful when we can identify the key details in the words and illustrations that tell about the setting of a story and show where we can find this information in the text. Today we will be reading pages 4 through 11 of Stellaluna. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna in the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stellaluna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Boys and girls, I see our first vocabulary word for the day. Do you see the highlighted word in the text? Our highlighted word today is daybreak. Daybreak means the first daylight in the morning or dawn. Flump! Stellaluna landed head first in a soft, downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh! Here comes Mama," hissed Pip. Boys and girls, I noticed there's another vocabulary word for us. It's highlighted on the page. Do you see the other highlighted word on our page? That word is head first. Head first means with the head in front of the body. So as Stellaluna landed in the nest, she fell in on her head as the illustration shows. My friends, we have now come to the part in our lesson where we answer questions about what we have read in the story. If you would like to pause the video to get a pencil and paper so that you can write your answers down to share with your teacher later, now would be a good time to do so. Our first question says, what does the text on page 5 tell us about where the story takes place? Remember, Where the story takes place is the setting of our story. I'm going to reread page 5 for you. Listen closely and see if you can determine the setting in our story. In a warm and sultry forest, far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. "I'll name you Stella Luna," she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stella Luna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. So, friends, thinking about our story and thinking about what I just read, where do you think this story takes place? What words in the text that I just read gave you clues about the setting? Our next question says, on pages 6 and 7, what clues are given in the text about when this story begins? What clues are given in the illustrations? So we need to look at the passage in this part of the book along with the illustrations and see if we can find clues that tell us when the story begins. Listen as I reread the passage for you. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stella Luna in the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. Now let's look at the illustration. I can see that Stella Luna is falling. I also see the owl and Mother Bat. When do you think this story begins? Go ahead and write your answer on your paper to share with your teacher later. Our last question says, in the story, Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit. What is ripe fruit? What would be a place that has the heavy scent of ripe fruit? So let's think about the clues in the text. The clues are telling us that Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit. Think about a piece of fruit that you would eat. We would only eat fruit that is ripe. What does a piece of fruit that is ripe smell like? What would be a place that you might find the heavy scent of ripe fruit? Write your answer down on your paper to share with your teacher. Boys and girls, we are now to the writing activity for your journal. Remember, this is an optional activity. Today, we are learning how to use details to describe the setting in a story. Remember, the setting is where the story takes place. It is possible for a story to have more than one setting. Good writers always use many details to describe the setting of a story. They know their word choice can help readers better understand the story. Think about something that happened in the story Stella Luna. Where was this part of the story taking place? Draw a picture of the setting that you chose. Then draw at least one of the characters in your setting. Write a sentence that tells details about what the character does and where it takes place. Now it is time for us to review our learning intentions and success criteria for the day to find out how we did. In this lesson, we are learning how authors tell the setting in a story. We will know we are successful when we can identify key details in the words and illustrations that tell about the setting of a story and show where we can find this information in the text. How do you think you did today, boys and girls? I'm sure you did an absolutely fabulous job. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I enjoyed sharing reading with you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.